It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James JC Cooley. All right.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
Yeah. Dr. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and of course, you know what today is. We got the one and only Paula show. Bridges Beyond Grief, and she has done it again. She has brought another absolutely outstanding, sensational guest on the show to talk about some of the things that he is doing and some of. I mean, it's a whole lot. I'm not going to take away the thunder because Paula is going to probably introduce that in a minute. How you doing, Paula? How are you doing? It's been a long time. We kind of miss you.
Oh, thank you. I know I have missed you guys too, and especially at this time of year. I think, we started December with a great series on grief and the holidays and how tough these times can be. And I'm so glad that this close to Christmas, we get to have a guest today who he's like the epitome of finding your way through loss and having something incredibly positive come out of it.
Wow, yeah, you're right. It's been about a year
Yes.
with this series. It's wow. It's been a year, and right about this time last year, I believe. So how you doing, Dr. Cooley? How you doing today?
Doing good, James. How are you?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. I just like I said, every time Paula show up and present her with her presence, it just brings joy. Especially just like she said, Christmas, the holidays, and this guy, um, our, our guest today. I'm so interested in hearing his story and
Mhm.
how he coped with grief and how he's doing things to help others cope with their losses and griefs as well.
Yes.
So, whichever platform that you're watching this on, whether it's E36 television, transfer TV, YouTube, Apple TV, Roku TV, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, and over 84 other platforms, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Michelle, can you do the honors by introducing the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely wonderful guest?
Yes. So the title of today's show is the Be Positive Foundation. And we're having a sit down discussion with Joe McDonough. He's the president of the Andrew McDonough B Positive Foundation. He's going to discuss the backstory and the origin of this amazing foundation. He's going to discuss how childhood cancer affects families, research involving cancer treatment, and funding cancer research in general. So let's talk a little bit more about him. So Joe holds a BA degree from the University of Delaware and an MBA from Fordham University in New York City. For over 40 plus years, he has held marketing positions in the consumer products, nonprofit financial services industry. Prior to starting the Andrew McDonough B plus the Be Positive Foundation, he was a senior vice president in the credit card division of JPMorgan Chase. He is the president of the Be Positive Foundation, an international charity with offices in Delaware and New York City with employees around the United States. The Be Positive Foundation is the largest provider of financial assistance to families of children with cancer nationwide and also funds cutting-edge childhood cancer research globally. And he has given well over 1,600 talks around the country since his son passed away. He's been recognized, and the foundation has been recognized by NASCAR, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL teams, the Jefferson Award for Public Service, and the governor of the state of Delaware, and numerous other organizations and honors. And he was invited as a guest at President Obama's 2011 State of the Union address, and he was inducted into the International Blood Bank Hall of Fame, the Mount Pleasant Delaware Hall of Fame, and the University of Delaware Hall of Fame. Please welcome to the show for the very first time, Mr. Joe McDonough.
How you doing, sir?
Wow, I tell you, I'm overwhelmed. First the hype music in the beginning, and now this, and you're setting me up to really disappoint your viewers. And Dr. Michelle, thank you, but you just made me sound very old, which is what I am. But man, it's a treat to be here. Seriously.
This is your story. It's so revealing and it's so helpful to others. And your resume and all the things that you're doing speaks for itself. So I want to personally welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
And can you please tell the audience a little bit more about you, where you grew up, what makes you click, and why you're so passionate about what you do?
Absolutely. I live in Wilmington, Delaware, about a half hour south of Philadelphia. And my wife, Chris, and I have two children, Allie and Andrew. And back in 2007, which sounds like a long time ago, but doesn't feel that long ago to me, my son, Andrew, who you can see over my shoulder, helped his travel soccer team win the Pennsylvania State Championship in soccer. Less than 48 hours later, we take him to our local children's hospital thinking he had appendicitis, only to learn that he had leukemia. I couldn't believe it. They were telling me that he had cancer. I said, this is a boy who just led his team to a state championship. Last Tuesday and Thursday, he worked out with college athletes for speed, agility, conditioning. And you're telling me he has cancer? And then I had to break the news to Andrew and to his sister. And then as the hours passed, Andrew went into septic shock, which is like an infection bomb going off in your body. And I'm standing next to Andrew in the PICU, the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit. I'm here, Andrew, his mom, his sister. And as if all of that wasn't enough, Andrew goes into cardiac arrest. His heart stops. Heart stops. They push us out. They push us out of the room, and the door opened, and they're bringing equipment in, and we're watching this through these little panes of glass as if it was this horrific reality show. And every time the door would open, Chris, Allie, and I would go over the door, and we would scream, literally scream at Andrew, cheering him on, because I knew if he heard my voice, he would dig deeper and keep fighting. And sure enough, they resuscitated Andrew. The doctor takes us to an adjoining room. And I said, is my son going to be okay? And honestly, I don't know why I asked that question, because Andrew was a beast. I knew he was going to be okay. And the doctor looked at me and said, your son will not live through the night.
Oh, my God.
And I looked at him, and I kind of got my back up, and I said, only God and Andrew knows that. And we walked out of the room. My son lived through that first night. He went to the hospital 5 feet 10 inches tall, 135 pounds. By the end of the first day, Andrew was still 5'10", but he was 200 pounds. His body weight went up 50% from the fluid we had to pump into him to keep his blood pressure up, to keep him alive. My son was barely recognizable to me. And then most kids with cancer go in and out of the hospital. We never left the hospital. We were in the hospital for 167 straight days. Andrew had almost 50 surgical procedures. He had 4 strokes, and he had a brain aneurysm. Four times they told us he wasn't going to live through the day. And on day 165, Andrew had his 4th stroke. It was July 12th. And that was the first time that we acknowledge, and I don't say accept, because I don't accept a child dying, but we acknowledge that they were going to be right when they said he had less than 48 hours to live. The next day was my birthday. And Allie and Chris will tell you that Andrew fought to stay alive so as not to die on my birthday. I hope at some point I get the opportunity in heaven to ask Andrew if that was true. The next day at 1:55 p.m., I watched something no one should ever see. I watched my son take his last breath in the arms of his 16-year-old sister. I looked at Chris and Allie, and I'm a little old school. My job is to provide, protect my family. And I looked at them. I looked in their faces, and I knew then and I know now, I can never lift that grief completely off of them. I could be the best husband in the world, the best husband in the world, best father in the world, but there's still going to be that huge hole. And I can just do the best I can. As you heard in the introduction, I worked at JPMorgan Chase. I told my coworkers, I'm going to be back in a couple of hours. My son's going to have an appendectomy. No big deal. I never went back. They kept my office for 15 months. I never went back. 2 weeks before we went in the hospital, Andrew said to me, Dad, what's my blood type? And I felt guilty not knowing my son's blood type. Well, on day 2 in the hospital, we found out that Andrew's blood type was B positive. And there's no connection between B positive blood and childhood cancer. But that was my boy. You know, that's the way this boy was. He was B positive. And so Allie started drawing posters on the door. Don't come in this room unless you're going to be positive. And it just kind of took off all over the world. And so when Andrew went to heaven, with the blessing of my wife and daughter, we started the Andrew McDonough B Positive Foundation to share it.
Hey, Joe, can you hold that thought? We got to take a station break. But wherever you're watching this show, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform, go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Dr. JC. That's right.
really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
Are y'all ready? It's about that time for the It's Your Life Show. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. That's right. It's Your Life. Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and we're here having a discussion with Joe McDonough, and I'll tell you, that first segment, it hits at least me. I don't know about you, but it hits hard because you never know how precious time is and how much time you have. Or you can be the best condition, best whatever at that moment, and the next second or so, or whatever that might be, it's a change in life, or it could be the end of life. And so I hope that everybody take heed and pay attention to what this young man is discussing with us, because it happened to him and his family. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Paula, but I do want to know, as I turn it over to you, what inspired you? Already told me about inspired you with to be positive and how your daughter pictures and stuff like that. Can you go back into detail and a little bit more and explain that? Because I think that is so important as you left off. And Paula, it's yours after that.
Yeah, Joe, please just continue the evolution of the Be Positive Foundation, because that's what you were just talking about, what Allie tried to teach the world, really, about positive.
Well, the reality is that Andrew was very sick, and we didn't want doctors, nurses, OT, PT, respiratory, any of the caregivers coming in and even subconsciously not giving it 100%.
Yes.
And we put a picture like this also on his bed rail every single day, because yes, that boy in the bed is my boy. Even if he may be bald and he has lines going into his brain, he has ports and all kinds of things, but this is Andrew healthy. Yes. And this is the boy we know and we want them to give 100% for. So don't come into this room unless you're going to be positive. Means come in with your A game, regardless of how sick Andrew might look. And we're going to, it was only until the last 2 days that we were sure we were leaving there with Andrew walking out the door. Yes. So it was really important. But what was also special about Be Positive is it's not just childhood cancer. Be Positive is a choice that we have in life. We have forks in the road, and we all have challenges. And it's how you respond to those challenges. And, I think it's to a certain world, it's childhood cancer, but Be Positive is on another plane, a lifestyle message that I think everyone of all ages, all health and everything can relate to.
Absolutely. So how did the whole thing evolve? I mean, now you've lost your son, the grief, I can't even imagine how huge it must have been. How did you move from that place to starting the foundation and doing the kinds of work you do?
Well, Paula, in those early days, it was a blur. Um, my world had just imploded.
Mhm.
I couldn't see purpose in life. And here at 46, I found my calling, my ministry, if you will. And it was with the support of my wife and daughter. And this is going to sound strange, but we're truly blessed. And I'm living my worst nightmare. My son died. But when we were in, we had so much support. We had people bringing us food every single night. We had people praying for us. We had people coming to our house doing yard work. We had family around, and a lot of families don't have that. I'll
Right.
never forget. I'll never forget. There was a family that I saw in the hallway in the PICU, in the ICU.
Mhm.
They were about 25 years old. Spanish was their first language, and the doctor's talking to them. And I'm thinking, how in the world do they comprehend what's going on? My wife and I were 45 at the time, and we had our pads, and we both have, graduate degrees, and we would write down, and she would write, I would write down, she would write down, and then we'd compare notes. And this was our first language. And I'm thinking, so many families don't have that kind of support. So that's what we started off doing. We said the Andrew McDonough B Positive Foundation is to share the blessings that we received and help families as they grew through the battle. Because when a child is diagnosed with cancer, and let me first say, all cancer is bad. My wife had very aggressive breast cancer. I've had cancer. But when a child gets cancer, you can't just leave the child at the hospital for treatment. You have to have a parent there with them. And sometimes we're talking 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks or more. And in the fortunate families that have two parents, one parent is there, usually mom, the income goes down. Just imagine if it's a single parent, the income goes down. This family is trying to fight for their daughter to help this precious little girl or boy stay alive, and they get an order of eviction, or their car's broken down and they can't get to the hospital. What good is a good hospital if you can't get there? They need certain medicines or beds. The very first thing we ever bought was a special bed for a child with cancer. We bought a toilet for a child because the insurance company said it was an elective option. It's not an elective option. Another thing we help with is fertility preservation, because children lose so much of their childhood to this cancer that we want to give them the option. I'm not telling them they need to be parents. It's the greatest thing in the world for me, but I'm not telling them they have to, but I want them to have that option. So as a result, we now, this year alone, will help over 4,000 families with about $6 million paying these bills. And one of the things I see, Paula, is when we lessen that financial burden, when you get that notice that we're paying your rent, yes, you feel relieved about the rent, but you feel like someone threw you a lifeline.
Exactly.
There is some hope. Someone out there cares about you, a person that you'll never see. It's, in a hospital, I coined it strange. I didn't say people were strangers. They're friends we hadn't met yet. There's so many people out there that did nice things for us that we didn't meet. And I don't need to meet them to be able to help them.
It's, how do you find the people that you help? How do they find you?
That's a great question. It's I would say about 85% of it is a partnership with social workers in hematology, oncology hospitals all around the country. The social worker sees the need. They know us. They know that we will get that check out every Friday. The checks go out. And that's probably about 85%. The other 15%, I would say, is you're in the clinic with your child. The clinic is the outpatient. And maybe you're talking to a mom next to you, and you're talking about the financial trouble. And she'll say to you, and she'll probably say, hey, do you know B+? Even though it's B positive, she'll probably say B+. And you'll say, I don't know about it. And you'll look us up, and then you'll request assistance. But it always comes through a partnership with the social workers, because I sit in Wilmington, Delaware. I don't know what's going on in Dallas and Denver and Los Angeles.
Exactly.
And that's why the social workers verify the authenticity of the family situation, so that I can protect our donors.
You know, Joe, I've been working with people going through loss and life transitions for like 30 years now. And what I see is sometimes that loss wipes them out. They're never quite the same. You know, even in my own family, when my husband's twin died suddenly, his mom pretty much, you know, for years just sat smoking and looking out the window. She kind of just lost her will to live. But other people get to the other side of that loss and they want to spare others from going through, or in some way help others. And that's what you've done, that I was so blown away by it. And it's become such a large scale operation. You know, I mean, I was approached by a student at UCLA for a donation, and that's how I found you. And so I have a feeling JC's going to pop on any second and tell us we have to take a break. But I would love you to explain if we have to take a break right away in our next.
No, Paula. We got about 4 minutes.
Oh, good.
I just popped in because I want to show my face. This is
okay.
Extraordinary. And Joe, I tell you, man, God works in mysterious ways. You're blessing folks out there going through a tragedy or heartbreak, or I don't even know what you call it, but to be able to maintain sanity and be able to regroup. And Paula know my story. It's sometimes I didn't think I was going to make it. I mean, until I didn't want to at the time. So I commend you for what you're doing. Yeah, Paul, we got about 3 minutes before the break.
Well, can I just say, I don't want to, as kind as you are, and I appreciate it, I don't want to take the credit on me. If I was alone going through this, I don't know how I could stand and walk. I have two special people, Chris and Allie, my wife and daughter, and I will say Andrew in heaven. I truly believe it. Andrew used to wear this every day, and I wear his cross every day, and I feel he's the spiritual leader of the foundation. And I don't care what, whatever religion people want to believe in, but I feel that what has enabled me, because a lot of people say, how can you keep going on? It's my family and my faith. I don't know why this happened. People sometimes will say to me, why do you think this happened? I said, how smart do you think I look? I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
But I do believe, and at the celebration of my son's life, there was 1,500 people there. I said in my eulogy, Andrew, you have given me the best incentive to be the best person I can be, so I can be reunited with you in heaven. And I mean that.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I don't think we'll be able to get into the whole thing, Joe, but I want you to share with people, how does the B Plus Foundation raise this money? So
Be positive.
I'm sorry, I blew it. Well, be positive. How does it raise the money?
Hey, Paula, hold that question until we get back. And when we get back, I tell you, I'm sure a quick video of Be Positive. And I tell you, it's going to tell the story. But I tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any questions that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Hey, it's your life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. That's right. It's Dr. James J.C. Cooley. It's your life show. Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
future is here.
Now is the time to pursue the greatness in you. Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith meets future. We are a fully accredited, 100% online Christian university. We offer bachelor's degree, master's and doctorate degree programs, built for students like you. Affordable tuitions, 30+ degree programs, 100% online and flexible. Integrating faith with learning. Study from anywhere at your pace. At VCU, we do not just prepare you for a degree. We prepare you for purpose. Discover who you are, grow in faith, and build a future that impacts the world.
Are you ready to start your journey today?
Visit www.viridianchristianuniversity.com.
Apply today and be among the global leaders.
That's right. Y'all ready? It's Dr. James JC Cooley. It's your life. That's right. Dr. James JC Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, I'm sitting back enjoying this discussion, very, very serious discussion that we're having with Joe McDonough about his son. And I say that this can happen to any of us. As I said prior to the break, you be sitting here today, gone tomorrow, whatever that is. Time is precious, life is precious. These are the Christmas holidays. I think it's so important that we reach out and tell our loved ones every day that we love them.
Yes.
We share that with them. We share that we love them, and because you never know, and to have Joe create a foundation, which you can really talk about, and I'm sure a video prior to him discussing this is a godsend. That in his heart, he sees and he felt the pain, and he know others might be feeling pain as well, not being able to pay the rent, might not be able to do a lot of things because of a tragedy or situational circumstances that they might be going through. So I tell you what, take heed. We got 2 more segments. And if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. I want you to watch this video, and I'm turning it back over to Paula.
My name is Joe McDonough, and I'm co-founder of the Andrew McDonough B Positive Foundation. The B Positive Foundation was born out of the tragedy of my son's passing. My son Andrew was 14 years old, played 4 games of soccer on a Saturday in January 2007. Just 48 hours later, he was diagnosed with leukemia, sepsis, and went into cardiac arrest. The doctor said my son wasn't going to live through the night. They revived him, and he lived 166 bonus days. We found out his blood type was B positive, which was just so fitting because that was the way Andrew lived. And immediately, his sister Allie started drawing posters on the door. Don't come into this room unless you're going to be positive. Our mission, quite simply, is to fight childhood cancer. The way we do that is really threefold. We fund childhood cancer research, we help families of kids with cancer nationwide, and I go out and speak to groups all over the country to spread the Be Positive message, to live like Andrew and make the most of each day.
The research we do here is focused on new therapies targeted specifically at pediatric cancer. Joe's been great. He's always taken a real interest in what we're doing and give us that boost to really help us stay focused on the goal, why we're doing this for the kids.
If Be Positive didn't exist, we would feel very lonely in our journey. Having the support, also seeing a foundation make so many advances and giving so much money locally makes us feel like we're making a difference also.
Funding for Be Positive has been the bedrock for what we do. It's provided all the key pieces of equipment that we use for the work we're doing here. And there's been really interesting discoveries in recent years that have really allowed us to explore some new ideas for therapies that be much more specific for children than the current therapies.
The community of childhood cancer families is going to benefit from the Andrew McDonough B Positive Foundation. We are going to be there for them, both financially, for support, as a resource. We can't take the cancer out of their child's body, but we're going to do everything else that we possibly can. We have a very compelling story that will resonate with the world if you'll open the door for me.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's
That
a
is
beautiful video. Beautiful video, Joe.
Thank you.
Really tells the story. You were just saying in the last segment, talking about people receiving checks so that they will be able to pay their rent and still support their children during treatment, people getting help with the treatment and all of that. So I'm just really wanting to know, for the sake of myself and our listeners, how do you raise this money? And if people want to help, how can they help?
Sure. Well, thank you. And before I answer that, I'd like to just mention that in addition to financial assistance, we now offer psychosocial support as well.
Yes,
So
talk about that too.
we have a psychologist who happens to be my daughter. She's a clinical psychologist, and she does support groups for parents of kids with cancer, with cancer, bereaved siblings, bereaved parents, webinars about over the holidays, and school reentry guides, things like that. So we really want holistic. To answer your question, we started off largely by appealing to students. So it's kids helping kids fight cancer. And so we're now on about 75 college campuses around the country. And we have dance marathons and different things like that. And the students don't give us the money themselves, but they'll send out emails or texts like you received. And what that does is not only does it raise money, but it raises awareness to let people know kids get cancer too. 46 kids were diagnosed today. And by the end of this week, 2 full classrooms, 49 children will die. And I had no idea when Andrew died that there were 48 other families grieving like mine. And so it started off with students, and then it has blossomed. We have some corporate support. We have some different individual donors, and people can visit us at www.bepositive.org. B as in boy, E as in Edward, positive.org, and can find us on all the various social media platforms. And it's really, one of the things you'll see, we have what we call Be Positive Heroes. And they were shown in that video. These are children with cancer and their siblings, because the siblings are often the forgotten heroes. And we pair them with fraternities, sororities, sports teams, student groups all around the country. And it's just such a great experience for the child to be put up on a pedestal and forget their chemo for a while. But also, and I didn't realize this when I started this, what a life-changing experience it is for the college students. These are college students who are worrying about their future and relationships and job interviews. And then they get the chance to spend some time with a purely innocent child who is being dealt a terrible hand. And boy, you talk about perspective in life. That's what the Be Positive Heroes program does for them. Oh,
that is amazing. I wasn't aware of all of that. And I'm loving what you said Allie is doing now, because of course that's the genre I work in. And I think it's so important. And one of the things that I find myself as a therapist wondering, you mentioned it a couple of times, sometimes the sibling becomes the forgotten person because the parents are so focused on the child who's ill. And yet it sounds like Allie was one of the allies, you know what I mean? You three were a team. How did you do that? How did you not let her become the forgotten child, and instead want to be as active as she was on the team?
Well, every situation is unique. If Allie was 4 years old, it would have been different. You're right. Sometimes the younger siblings are jealous of the child with cancer because they get all the attention and toys. And sometimes the older siblings, like in Allie's case, feel guilty and wish they had the cancer in them, which, Allie said that to us. I said, no, that's what your mom and I say. But Allie was 16 years old when Andrew was in the hospital. She was very mature. So we made a conscious decision to include her in all the decisions. So when we had decisions to make about Andrew's care, it was me, Chris, and Allie, everything. And we also were very open with Allie, saying that we're not going to be able to give you the time you deserve right now. We're going to we'll make it up to you when we get home. But right now, Chris and I were both at the hospital every day. Allie was going to school as a junior in high school, and then she'd come to the hospital after school, and she would either spend the night in the room with us, or she would go home, and one of us would go home from, say, 11 to 7 in the morning. But we had to be honest with her that we can't give you 50% of our time right now. And it's just, and that's a difficult thing. In her case, she was very mature. She understood that. And she also, now knowing what happened and the fact that Andrew did pass away, Allie being part of everything, I think she knows in her heart we did everything we could. Because, when your child dies, you look back and you question a lot of things. And was there something more I could have done? And I can't think of anything, although I've asked myself 1,000 times.
Wow. I'm gonna tell you, Joe, that my heart. I'm just what you're doing and sharing. It had to take a lot of courage to share how you feel in a situation like that, and the pain does not go away, just like you said.
Nope.
It's going to be there forever.
It's been 18 years. It's been 18 years, and it feels like it. Andrew died last week.
Yeah. So we're going to take a station break for the sake of time, because I know Paula got a lot of other questions that she want to ask. So we're going to take a station break. But I tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on. I promise you we'll get you an answer. One thing, Joe, I would love to invite you back on the show for part 2. This is so informative. If your schedule permits, we would love to have you back again soon. But
so I haven't bored you, huh?
Not even close.
not nowhere near being close to boredom. So we'll be back shortly after the break.
Yeah. All right. Your life with Dr. James JC Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and we've been so deep in this conversation, this discussion with Joe, that I want everybody to know Paula Shaw, Bridges Beyond Grief. She one of the best in the business. Grief therapy. If you're going through any type of issues, some type of grief, or it doesn't matter whether it's a death or family issue or whatever, you want to talk to Paula. Paula, how can they reach out to you?
Probably the best thing is to go to my website, paulashaw.com, and there's a number there, there's an email there, then they can reach out to all of that. Thank you.
Paula helped me out. She helped me out so much, and that's why we do this show. Yes, Michelle.
And I want to add that Paula is also a life transitions coach, and grief does not only involve a loved one passing away. It could be grieving the end of a relationship, a marriage, a job. So grief is a category, but there's so many different subcategories under grief.
Yeah. I want to turn it back over to you, Paula. We got about 8 minutes left in the show.
Okay. Well, Joe, I have to ask, as a woman and a mother, you've mentioned Chris several times, Andrew's mom. Tell us a little bit about how this experience was for her, because she, like you, has now brought herself to the point of being a central character in the foundation and helping other people. But I can't imagine, as a mom, what she went through.
And quite honestly, I can't tell you what she has gone through because everyone's situation is unique. I have a good idea, obviously. But that bond between a mother and a child, I mean, she carried Andrew, and they had a special relationship. Andrew has a special relationship with me. Andrew has a special relationship with Allie. She's a very strong person. We have very different personalities. She is quieter and in the background. I tend to be yap. I'm much more emotional and prone to crying. She's stoic. But she said something to me after Andrew died. She said, "Life can never be great, but we're going to strive to make it good, real good, because." That it's like the top of the mountain has been cut off with Andrew not here. And, we have now 2 grandchildren, and it's real special. I'm not going to say no one can replace Andrew or anything like that, but it's really special to have 2 little kids running around, and sometimes they remind us of Andrew or Allie, and sometimes they're their own person. But Chris has been, she's been a rock to me, and I've tried to be supportive of her, of course. A lot of families in our situation, families of children with cancer who die, the marriages don't survive.
Right. That's exactly right.
That it's quite common, actually. And you know what? Honestly, I think our marriage is stronger. And I'm not going to. I don't want to credit cancer with anything, but I think I think we have gone through a war, hell together, holding hands.
Yes.
And with Allie as well, and I got married to Chris at 21 years old, unemployed, a month out of college. The odds of that were probably not too good. And I've been married 42 years now. So,
yay.
I am very, very blessed. She is definitely the better half.
Well, I want to ask you first, does the Be Positive Foundation incorporate volunteers, or is the best way others can help just to make donations?
I get that question a lot, and I wish my answer could be hands, like a Habitat for Humanity where everyone
Yeah.
can step forward. Unfortunately, we can't do that. I can't bring 40 people into a hospital to an immunocompromised child.
Right.
That's not going to fly.
Mm,
So quite frankly, we have families today who are worried that they're going to be evicted next week.
yes.
Their cars broken down, and they're not going to be able to make the drive to get the chemo. So for that reason, if someone makes a donation today, I'll be giving it out on Friday. We are very efficient. Everything goes nonstop.
Great.
A lot of us will slow down, over the next 2 weeks with holidays. Childhood cancer doesn't take a break. So we will be getting requests for assistance, just like every other week of the year.
Right. Boy, that makes huge sense. And the other thing I want to ask you, JC said some lovely things a little bit ago about this time of year. And I think for me too, one of the most important things at this time or any time of year is family. And that's who you work with. That's who you help. But is there anything in particular you want to say to people at this time of year who are dealing maybe with childhood cancer? What do you want them to know?
Well, for the families that are in the battle right now with childhood cancer, a doctor will say it's 2.5, 3 years for leukemia. Don't think that far. That's too high of a mountain to climb. Think about the 15 minutes and build up to maybe the next 30 and the next hour. And I'd also like to offer some advice, if I can be so bold, for the families who have lost a child and they're now going into the holidays. Be gentle on yourself. If you don't feel like you're up to it to go to that big family gathering, don't. And for the families that are welcoming these people, be gentle to them. They're going to they may put on a smile on their face, but they're hurting inside.
Absolutely.
And I don't care if their child died a month ago, 10 years ago. My son died 18 years ago. And I guarantee you, on Christmas Day, I'll be smiling for my grandkids and my heart will be hurting inside. And I know that's the same for my wife and daughter too. So,
yes.
Be gentle.
And you know what, if I may add quickly to that, JC, cherish every moment, you guys. Just cherish every moment because we don't know what moment will be the last.
Exactly.
So I just want to add, Michelle, you want to add anything, 30 seconds or less?
I just want to say that, we lost my sister over 10 years ago. My mom is still alive. And we will never get over it, but we've gotten through it. If that makes sense.
Yes.
You won't get over it. No.
Yeah. We've gotten through it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I want to close with any Joe, 30 seconds or less closing remarks that you want our viewers and our listeners to take away from this. And I hope that you decide to come back on the show again. This was extraordinary, and I don't invite everybody back. So this was extraordinary.
Oh, I really appreciate the opportunity, James, Michelle, Paula, to be on here. It breaks my heart. It's like a knife turning in my heart when I talk about Andrew, but I love talking about Andrew. And if I can help someone else that honors Andrew's memory, honors God, that's what I think we're called to do. If people want to learn more, just go to one of our social media sites, bepositive.org is our website.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time out your schedule to come on the show. Paula, I love you. You already know that. We love you. Paula is the reason I'm in television and radio, and she'll tell you that story one day. So I want to thank you, Paula, for always bringing great guests. I'd like to thank Michelle for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Michelle does all the heavy lifting. I'm just in front of the camera. You know, but most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in 181 countries and 84 different platforms. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life, and we'll see you then.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello.
Hello.
That was absolutely extraordinary. Let me see. I think we're still clicking. Hold on. Let's do this.
Dr.